gentlemen.
You can tell whose meetings last.
Yeah.
Andy.
She's coming out with a bang.
Going out with the bang.
You
Oh,
don't
you-
get reelected.
You mean? Boom, boom, boom.
I
boom,
nominate.
boom, 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 boom.
All right, go ahead and call to order. Due to, was it system crash?
Yes.
We'll do the minutes either next month or she'll email them to us.
Okay.
Get them print off.
System.
All right.
So,
Those are fun.
never fun, sure.
You frequent our office, Andy. You should know all the things that go on
I
there.
did have a lot of things.
What we got?
On
y'all?
to funding events. Anything to report?
Yes. I know we have at least one.
Come on up, please.
Thanks for inviting me to speak. I'm Brian Young, and I'm the director of the Baum Gallery at UCA. And we were lucky enough to be awarded a grant from the Conway CVB for an exhibition called Source of Light. And I brought some
Oh, okay. Sure.
the opportunity was pretty extraordinary. There is a couple in Little Rock named Dr. Archie Hearn and Garbo Hearn, and they probably have the best private collection of African American art in the state. Maybe Crystal Bridges could be better, but in terms of a private collection, she has been in business for 25 years as an African American art dealer, and so they made available 3 components for an exhibition at the Baum. The first component was 16 works from the late 19th century by the 4 preeminent African American artists from the U.S. They were Charles Ethan Porter, Edward Mitchell Bannister, Henry Asawa Tanner, perhaps the best known, and the fourth one was Robert S. Duncanson. Primarily Impressionist style artists. The works are exceedingly rare. All 4 of those artists can be found in the collections of the National Gallery of Art and the Smithsonian American Art Museum, not to mention the other leading American art museums like the Detroit Institute of Arts, Philadelphia, etc. So that was component number 1. Component number 2 was a contemporary collection of African American art in multimedia, quilting, printmaking, painting, sculpture, mixed media, including fiber, and the media within in subcategories is even greater. So alabaster, marble, bronze, and so on. And that consisted of about 60 pieces from their private collection. The third component were the large-scale African American portrait heads by an artist born in Botswana named Louise Mandumbois. She graduated from UCA in 2020, and she is currently completing an MFA at Yale University, one of the top 3 art schools in the country. And so with this exhibition, we attracted people from throughout the country, including Atlanta, New York City, Florida, obviously throughout the state. Did I say Atlanta? Anyways, so it's probably our best attended event, and it's also, I think, our best in terms of getting attention from the regional media. So I was on KTHV 11, and we had the local newspaper come, Arkansas Times, Democrat Gazette, Log Cabin, and so on. So that exhibition was from January 26th through February 24th, and the grant from the Conway CVB helped pay for getting all of these works, about 80 works, ready to come to the Baum Gallery in terms of inventory, packing, shipping, deinstallation, and then sending the works back. I have been a curator or director for a museum in Arkansas for 17 years. And in that period, it's not only the best exhibition I've ever done of African American art, but the best one that I've known in the state in those 17 years. I think it's unsurpassed. And I'm not alone in that opinion. So we're really proud, and we're also very grateful. And if you have any questions, I'm sorry I didn't look to you. But if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Or if you have any comments, I'd be happy to listen.
I'm out here on an island by myself.
You seem like very nice, you know.
Did you get good response?
Got a great response, mostly from a small number of subsets. The response came from our faculty responded especially well, not just art department, but also sociology, women's studies, our literature classes, and then we got a response from school-age kids. It's difficult to do a lot of field trips to UCA. People would rather go to the Reynolds. More exciting, I know. But we had a couple of school groups come in. I think Valonia Art Group came in, and then we had an overall response from the community as well. Garbo Hearn has been in business for over 25 years as an art dealer, and so a lot of our clients, a lot of our artists came to visit the exhibition. So that was pretty satisfying. They're the stewards of the collection of the historical material from the 19th century, but that collector who has temporarily given them control of the collection, he came in from New York City for an event just for that. So yeah, it's the best response we've had to any exhibition since I've been at UCA in my 7 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Very
Great.
good. Right. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
And some of Dr. Hearn's collection was in.
Yeah, like 60 pieces. So it's there. I basically cleared out their house. I went. Oh, that's not true. Actually,
Walk out.
their house was not cleared out. That's the crazy part if you know them. So we took about 60 pieces out of their home, and the largest being 4 feet by 5 feet, and their house did not look empty. That's crazy. Probably too much information. But, and they of course came for numerous visits, including their children and friends and people like that. So
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you very much. I appreciate everything.
Bring us something else good back.
I will. We'll talk about that. I'll be back. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, funding events is done. Reviewing financials.
Here we go.
There we go.
I was talking about the girls' basketball team. I just wanted to say. Well, we're waiting. How about those Conway Cats?
The girls basketball team won state last week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
We're on top of the,
I
right
wish,
next
I
to the
wish, but I
balance
just
sheet.
want to make sure everybody on the screen knew, because all of a sudden I was like, how about those girls' basketball? And I did my fist pump for Sheila, and I was like, no one knows what I'm doing. That's me,
Sorry,
guys.
you
Last
was
one you
TV.
have to deal with.
Somebody else told me. I saw David. David was sitting.
Mhm.
15 rows.
Get
Are we
excited about balance
ready?
sheets.
So many papers.
So the first, the balance sheet, it says the balances in our accounts. The 7873 is the operating account, and 7271 is the collections account. And then the CD, which probably needs to be adjusted, but I haven't.
And I think last thing Charles emailed me back, and there's not anything written down that we have to keep a certain amount, a certain percentage in the bank account. Because I know you talked about the CD, and we talked about maybe
Have we moved
Mhm.
to a better rate on that?
4.5, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Not to be an alarmist or anything.
Just because there's a giggle from the crowd doesn't mean.
I mean, I'm curious. Please finish.
Not to be an alarmist or anything, but there have been banks that have paid over the last 72 hours. I think the count. Do we have a banker in here? No. There was
I'm a
If a
reader.
banker in
I've
here.
read what you're talking about.
$250,000, and do we need to.
We've already heard. What's that, Michael? Mike Garrett,
Garrett.
excuse me. We have the insurance. It is broken up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
He showed me where the fund was broken up because of the FDIC laws and all that.
Excellent.
Yes, sir.
That's already been done.
That's
Oh, yeah.
Very good. Very good. That's not to indicate anything around here whatsoever,
right.
but those people probably didn't think it concerned them either on Tuesday of last week.
Point, Jill. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I need to get access to our new CD so I can adjust this out properly. It's the balance. If you go to the third page, 2-year comparison, we are in the negative. $35,498.69. as opposed to last year. We were in the black, $2,670.83. Overall, year to date, we are in the black, $32,946.20 as compared to last year at this time at $23,993.52.
Big things that caused us to. Because we had.
See that,
Like it was advertising.
Yeah,
Advertising,
Mhm.
yeah.
and our revenue, the bottom line, the allocation was not as much as last year.
Oh yeah, so that's going in.
Some of those are the annual subscriptions for things that just landed.
Or like annual advertising contracts, we pay a full year
Pay them up front.
to pay less, so.
Gotcha.
It's kind of like some of the
Multi-view,
upfront
that
stuff
makes
that we do, Sheila.
Mhm.
We pick up the city, pick up a lot of expense on the front end.
On the front end.
And then
Yeah.
it works itself out over the course of the year.
Yeah, it's in the general ledger, and the account reconciliations are just back up to the financials. Here to browse through there. As Travis just pointed out, we had a multi-view, which is a big part of the annual contract for $27,000. So that's
Mhm.
where that came from. Long to long
Mhm.
papers. You just ready to skip on down to the color papers. Okay, the first two pages are just the allocations to the city and to AMP. Third page is year-to-date collections, and for February of 2023, we were at $446,454.47, which is up over 22, February 22 by 0.69%, and up over 2021 by 11.20%. 28.56%. The delinquents collections totaled at 16,205.29. They were 3.63% of total collections. And the collections excluding delinquents totaled 430,249.18, which is up over last year by 13.62%.
I think we'll see some increases, and it's not maybe as much people going out as much as us restaurants kind of first of year going, oh my gosh, costs are still crazy high. So we're having to increase. A lot of places are kind of implementing their increasing their menu prices. We haven't done it yet, but it's in the works because our costs have all skyrocketed.
10 to 15%
So-
is what I'm hearing mostly
Yeah,
around the state.
About 15% is what our costs have gone to for most restaurants, between 10 and 15. So trying to make up a little bit of that. I mean, it's crazy, like supplies and goods. I mean, it's well, you got to think about what you're paying for eggs and stuff. You
Well, I
know,
was gonna ask the question about eggs. At one point in the last couple of months, talking to somebody said the price of eggs was getting ready. or had
pretty sure
gone to
another
the
bird
top,
flu came about, wasn't
starting
it?
to
Didn't we get a
level out
memo on
and
that?
come down.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a
Well, we actually heard where chickens prices were going to drop, but eggs weren't.
Yeah.
So it seemed kind of odd. Yeah, exactly.
fried chicken or the egg. But so I was gonna say, so you'll probably see a trend that the of our numbers going up a little bit. Heck, we probably could look at it and see that it's that percent.
Just having rain worsened for the work. We weren't able to
Rain,
grow
ice, snow.
but rain takes rain for hay. And so if you got hay, you got cattle. If you don't have cattle, prices are up.
Or up, yeah. It's
We've had rain.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hope California's saving some of theirs.
God, me too.
Me too. Esther, I want, probably is not the time for personal comments, but your mural is fabulous.
Oh, it is,
Oh,
isn't it?
thank y'all.
It
Thank
is.
y'all.
really
It
is.
turned out.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
I mean,
Super cool.
Really looks good.
We got the grant from the downtown partnership to help with it a little bit, and so yeah, it's real cool. We like
I
it a
just
lot.
think it really looks
It
Yeah.
does.
good.
Does it make you want pizza?
I've been there 6 times in the last 10 days.
Oh yeah, salad. Does
Does
it
that
make you
count?
want a salad? That's what,
Yeah,
but
large
yeah,
as-
no, we've always had that wall. We've always been like, we want to put a mural on it, like forever. And finally, we were where we're like, okay, we can finally do it. So yeah, it turned out really good.
Well, congratulations. Looks
Thank
really
you.
good. It
Thank
really
you.
does.
I'm taking all Hunter did most of that. Yeah, that was Hunter. So I'm like, thank you, but really, he just said, hey, here's what the mural's gonna be. I was like, okay, cool. Okay, sorry. Back to I think that's all.
Very simple. Very simple collections totaled 187,686.95, and we're 42.04% of collections. Inching on up there to the 50, Andy.
Yeah. That would be correct.
Man, look at this team. Good job.
Hey, Esther, let's go ahead and get a motion and a second on the finances.
Motion.
Second.
I got a motion and a second on the financials. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great job.
I know. This is awesome though.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
And there's only a couple that are
Mm-hmm.
pretty on.
I must have hired some muscle.
We're not saying much.
Code enforcement's kicking booty out there. I said code enforcement's kicking booty out there. And I didn't have a chance to check, well, the payments that came in today before we got here, but Tiffany did the whole Hail Mary thing Friday or this weekend. And so I have a feeling some of these will come off there.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Heard anything from account number 137?
Mm.
Burger.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you when they opened, but it's not that long ago. I mean, like
I
last
Yeah.
month.
I just
two.
trying to remember where they were. Even.
They're off of
Yeah.
Dave Ward Drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They were Steak and Shake was.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah.
They've got a liquor license permit,
That burger?
I think. don't they?
I
believe they have.
they were applying for one.
That burger?
Mm-hmm.
We should
Sure.
go. We should go and see. And then we'll get burgers and beers. No, but
You're
I don't
saying they
know.
have
Do
one
they-
pending before the council?
I think so. I think that address came to us.
Yes, it's still pending, I think.
Okay, so it hadn't gone
But
through
it's-
yet.
it's-
No, but
As
Denise
long as
got
this
a.
is pending, that's pending.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you know, if we need to hold something hostage,
I bet
can.
it's just they're just getting started their first month. Yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
Probably. Yeah, I
They've
didn't
been
Just-
open for,
Has it been longer than that?
oh yeah, probably
yeah.
at least 3 months or
yeah,
more.
I'm thinking.
Longer than that.
Mhm.
3 close. Could be
Yeah,
4.
3, 4 months. Yeah.
Yes, I got a text from Denise on Thursday that a girl who said she was calling for a friend who didn't speak English and they wanted to get an alcohol permit for a restaurant. I asked her the usual questions. Is it a current restaurant? She said yes. And when I asked the name, she said El Pastrocito. I asked if it was a food truck, and she said she didn't know if it was a restaurant or our food truck. But currently he's food truck, and y'all know what problems we've had with
Mhm.
him. So if that comes to council vote, hold off on him. He's still on the delinquent list too, as usual.
That number? Permit number?
792, I believe.
Yep.
Thank you.
That's the one that came to the meeting one time. so you all could visit with him, and he was gonna be current
Mm-hmm.
here moving forward, and he's made the delinquent list every month. Now he wants an alcohol permit for his food truck, I guess. I don't know.
Pretty hard.
I can call him.
Yep.
Because she said he didn't speak good English, but I've talked to him perfectly fine, so.
69. Well, wait, there's a couple.
Well, there's
60.
260.
I think are we
Okay,
ready?
I'm hearing y'all talk. So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
make a motion for our standard
I know I
of
don't have it in front of me. I'm
education.
going
I
down
know,
there.
that's what I was
Ours
Well-
looking
is
for.
30, 60, 90.
Yeah.
Kim can speak on, there was, what, 3 that didn't show up for court?
Okay, yes, one.
We had 3, maybe 4.
It was Westway, Juice Me Up, D2, Cheese 2.
We had Ocean Wing. We had
Westway. Westway was one of them.
Nutrition, is that one?
Westway.
988.
Those 3.
What was
And-
the other one? Westway?
Westway,
D-
Ocean Wing.
D2, Cheese 2.
And they didn't show up for court, so they have FTAs.
Yes, they have a
This Loblolly, everything we send, everything we have shows that their office is in Little Rock somewhere, and everything we mail comes back to us. So I don't know where we're gonna really be at with them.
Is that in Little Rock or North Little Rock? You know?
It was in West Little Rock where we were sending, it was like a corporate kind of sounding address.
Me to put something on the Facebook real quick? I think I paused. Hey, it's my last meeting, guys. I need you to kind of. Do you have 1423 Main Street, Little Rock? That looks like their other location.
No, the one we were sending it to was out in West Little Rock, so, yeah.
And there's now 2 apartment complexes that are apparently holding food truck days on Friday. One's on Fridays, one's on Thursday.
Yes, we will visit them this week, Thursday and Friday were the only
Yeah,
days.
because they're not permitted.
Yeah,
so
we will do
code
that.
enforcement's gonna go and write some people up.
And then the Candlewood Suites, and I don't have the new list, but there was another hotel on there. For this.
Sunad.
Yes. So we'll get on that. The list is
Great.
The list is Mhm. smaller.
Yeah,
than
this
Yeah,
is
it looks
awesome.
Y'all
great.
doing a
Thank
great
you very
job.
much.
Mm-hmm. I want to introduce y'all to someone you all already know, and that's Lily Cow. Lily,
Lily.
Lily is now working on. You also met her when she worked at City Hall at the front desk, but she's with us now. So
Oh, yeah.
That's
yeah,
why
she's
this
helping
list
us
got
in code
short.
enforcement, physical plant. So if you call us, you'll probably get Lily.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome. Awesome.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Y'all have any other
Welcome
questions?
Lily to this side of the world.
That's
Get you off of that front desk.
right. We love having her. Thank y'all.
So yeah, basically the ones that are really yellow now have their tip ears on them, so they'll be in trouble for a lot more different
Yeah.
things.
Right.
Just saying.
Made the motion for our standard.
30, 60.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Miss Rachel.
Let's see. Well, I first wanted to mention that I think as we talked about at our last meeting, we are about to have 3 open commission seats. So those applications or nominations are due to the mayor's office, to Felicia, by the 24th of this month, I believe. And so
ideally, this commission would be able to vote on those positions next month.
Go ahead and let everybody know how many applicants we have in so far.
So far, we have 0.
There's one that called.
Which
the-
one? Yeah.
There was a Patel that called the office for me asking about the open position. I called him back, and then he did not have it.
I know Felicia has had some people call and ask questions. I've had some people call and ask questions, but so far, nobody has any
Actually applied.
actual applications in hand. So, the process is that you all would review those, vote on people to fill those positions, and then it would have to go to city council for approval. But we have to have a quorum here to be able to vote
So
for
you'll meet
those
me for one more,
positions
is
in
that what you're
April.
saying?
Yes.
One more meeting? Okay.
And then technically, like Jeremy's term isn't up until the end of May, so that position, I guess, doesn't have to start until June. So that's just, I feel like that's the most pressing issue for this commission at the moment. It's making sure we have enough people here to govern this body. So, in other things, I, since our last meeting, went to the Arkansas Governor's Conference on Tourism. It was in El Dorado this year. I would say it's the best one I've been to in a few years, just from a productivity and information standpoint. Met with AACVB, where we talked mostly about some bills coming up that could negatively impact the tourism industry. I think I mentioned that to you all. One specifically, I think is supposed to be discussed in committee this week, which would regulate how short-term rental properties can and cannot be managed. And the gist of it, and this is why the tourism industry, hotel industry, municipal league are all against it, is that it takes power away from cities to be able to manage those things and enforce laws upon them like they would any other business, like they would a hotel, and could impact the way you are able to collect taxes from those businesses. So
Have a bill?
I believe it is 197 or 1097. I can confirm that. I'll just have to look in my email. But I know it has a 97 in it. Also attended a session on the eclipse. Everybody's talking about it a lot still. UCA is working on their plans. I think I'd mentioned to y'all that they are going to focus on, they are hosting an event on campus. They will need the city to manage visitors, tourists who come to town that are not on their campus. And, part of what they're worried about is cell phone communications being overwhelmed. If there were an incident, being able to get an ambulance from the hospital to campus, even though it's not very short or not a very long distance, it's still, if those roads are crowded, how are they going to get, emergency services through there? So those are all things they're talking about. They've also reached out to me and to Mary Margaret with the chamber to talk about hosting some like businesses on campus, on maybe the opposite end of the street, and just increasing their event attendance and the activities available. So that's all still very early. Let's see what else.
Date on that, April.
April 8th of
8th?
2024.
I knew it was 24.
So,
I knew it was April.
Coming up in a little less than a month, all of those hotel bookings will open up for availability. They all open up 1 year ahead of time. So that's an actual thing that our hotels need to be concerned with.
If it's cloudy, they're going to postpone it 700 years.
So get ready.
We've already got a backup date.
Yeah, get ready. Last month, I had mentioned to you all the online calendar program, and I thought that money would need to come from advertising, but in looking at my spreadsheet, there's wasn't really that money there, but that can come from the production account which that money is intended for producing things for the commission, for the CVB. And so I feel like that is an appropriate spend of that money, and there's plenty of money in that account to be able to do that. So I signed the contract with them. We are in the implementation phases of getting that set up. So that's very exciting. Had some documents translated for code enforcement to Spanish, so hopefully that helps. There's a professor at UCA that's been very helpful and was extremely quick in getting that done this time.
Good.
So Andy had asked a question about the STAR report that I send out every month, and so I printed it out and gave it to you. I apologize that it is tiny. I send it to you every month, but we don't always talk about it. So if you have questions, sorry, Mike.
I'm just playing, I'm just playing.
I'm not.
If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them for you.
Y'all talk about my print being so small.
Yeah, it's tiny.
I'm like, okay, I see this year,
I need
last
it
year.
here. Basically, their hotel occupancy rates are fairly flat. They were up a little bit in December from November, and then up a little bit more in January from December, but it's incremental. Let's see, hotels are charging more. That shouldn't surprise any of you. So the ADR, that's the average daily rate, is up slightly. The supply is up because we had new hotel open. So there are more hotel rooms on the market. Anyway, and I will say we do have some of our older properties, maybe the one level motel type properties, who are paying A&P taxes, but they don't report their information to STAR. So that is not included in this. So that would be like King's Inn, Continental Inn, all of those motels that were built in Conway in the 60s for the most part. So I also attached the Sports Intelligent Report to your email. That is an overview of a digital ad campaign running through Sports Destinations Management, which is owned by Due North, and that's what it probably says on it if you look at it. And so we had 49,000 impressions. Total Meta was a separate kind of ad that we were doing. We had 20,000 impressions through it. Anyway, it's performing well. This is the first month of it picked up in this year. So those will just continue to increase, hopefully. Any questions?
Thank you for your emails
Of course.
on Friday.
Yeah.
It's all information. Thank you.
It is.
Yep. And once again, thank you for your email with the calendar.
So I guess while we're doing introductions, I want to introduce Andrew Thames, our new Parks and Recreation Director. Guess you've been here 3 or 4 weeks now, something like that. Already done a great job, and I can tell he's going to do a great job for us. So, welcome. So the first thing is I want to say that we're already getting a return on our investment.
That's it.
So had 101 teams here this weekend, and guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, if we didn't have turf, there is no way we should have
the
the
weather.
tournament.
Yep.
Those slow rains, like what we experienced on Saturday, we call those tournament killers. So the turf, I'm sure it will save many tournaments in the days ahead. As far as sticking with the baseball and softball side of things, the first weekend of March, we had 95 teams in town, which is actually, that's really good for the first weekend of March. This past weekend, as I said, had over 100. Upcoming weekend, we have a fast pitch tournament and an adult softball tournament coming. I've talked to both of their tournament directors. I think they're near capacity as well, too.
Wow.
And then the last weekend of March, we'll be hosting another large baseball tournament. As far as volleyball and basketball goes, this last 2 weekends, we had volleyball events. That kind of coincides or ends the volleyball season. It runs from October to mid-March, April timeframe. But basketball is just starting up, so the last 2 weekends of this month, this weekend and next weekend, we'll have 2 basketball tournaments in town. On the expo side, this weekend we are hosting the Conway Home Show, and then the last weekend of the month we're hosting the GNS Gun Show. One of the things that we've been trying to do is, we historically have always stayed away from Friday night activities because when we had field prep and things like that. But another advantage that the turf gives us is there's not field prep after a Friday night game into Saturday. So with us being turf and centrally located, we have started trying to build relationships with different high school coaches and athletic directors around the state. A lot of times high schools, if you're one that's in Northwest Arkansas playing a Southeastern Arkansas, they're looking for a centrally located place to play on Friday nights. Not just centrally located, but centrally located and dry. And we provide both. So we've already seen some fruit to that. We've hosted Mountain Home, Sheridan, Clarksville, talked to Des Arc, and even talked to Arkansas Tech about hosting some games as well too. So that's how we're going to try to continue to do that, to bring in folks on Friday nights. And then last thing, I just want to make sure you guys got the calendar we sent. I hope that made sense.
Did.
And be glad to answer any questions that you guys might have. Andy, I'm sorry, I never looked at you either.
Out here on
It's the island.
Island in the stream over there. Is there any need to turf Curtis Walker's field? Because there's only that one big field for high school games for Friday nights.
Yeah,
That's turfed. Or did we turf the big one over there?
we did. We
Okay.
turfed the big one over there too. So I would say no, just with it being one field. Usually when it's just one field, we can work things around to accommodate. I'm not saying absolutely no.
Oh, I got you.
I don't see any immediate need.
I noticed last 2 weekends on Saturday afternoon, we had a little time, so we drove around, just looked at different fields and stuff, and it made me feel good to be part of this. I mean, I saw hundreds of cars everywhere. All the gyms, looked around, just went, oh my God, all these people come. And I drove through and started looking at where are the states. I go, oh my gosh, there's 7, 8 states here that have
Multiple states, yeah.
contributed people here. So
Yes,
just a
ma'am.
heck of a job. And it really made me feel good about what we do and, what happens to Conway when all these teams come. And
Feel good about it unless I'm trying to go get a table on Friday or Saturday.
Well,
night.
that's-
Sorry, we got a party at 30 ahead of
Yeah.
Can I introduce you to a couple of our? They might can work you
We
in.
always take care of
Thank you.
Thanks, Derek.
Andrew, welcome again. Any new business? Once again, if you think of anybody for applications, it's like we're kind of getting there.
Felicia or I, either one, can send them the application to fill out if you want to give them either of our contact information if they have questions.
Do remember that there is a requirement right now that they live in the city of Conway. Even though they have a business here, if they live outside the city.
Who made that requirement?
It's been there the whole
Must have
time.
been,
I understand. But
must have been Sheila, because I would never have done
Oh, I see what you're
Andy
doing,
was already
Travis.
on here.
I think
when
that's
saw it.
I think that's written in state statute.
state, not.
Is it?
Okay.
I believe so.
Okay.
I think so, maybe non-first class, there's exemptions, but not
Is
for
it
cities of
county
our
or
size.
city? It's city.
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 Gotta be in the city limits.
That's
And
the hard
I
part.
And we,
I checked with Charles on it, and he said the at-large position could live in the county in a non-incorporated city. So, like, I don't know what that would be.
Pickles Gap.
Yeah. Pickles Gap, outside, Toadsuck, outside the city limits, but within the county
County.
in a
But not
non-incorporated
in
city,
another city.
but none of the other positions.
8 Mile Store,
Squirrel Hill.
Royal Hill.
So,
If y'all don't have a quorum, I guess just let me know. And if is that, you want
No,
me to do it
just
that
need to be
way?
here.
You just need.
Okay.
We'll let you speak again.
Yeah.
On that.
I just did all my show, guys.
Thank you,
Let's
Esther.
Yeah, thank you, Esther. Be shorter
We
next
want a
time.
non- we want a non-
And Mr. Chairman, with the information given to us a little earlier about the solar eclipse in April of 2024, I would move that we move the meeting that is already on schedule for that day to another day.
Oh.
I think that would be a good
Just-
suggestion.
Or maybe April, you just meet in May. Maybe you don't meet in April, guys. Maybe you just take
She's
the
not
We used to
gonna-
skip a month.
She's not gonna be
I'm
here.
not
She's
gonna
like,
be here. I'm
whatever
just
you want
doing
to do,
that
just
for
This
start.
is next year.
Why do you
March,
care, Esther?
March, and then y'all get a break in April. Come back to
Come
me. This
back in
eclipse
May.
is gonna be big. Y'all are gonna need a whole
Would you
time to
say it's
recover.
a rain day is 700 years
Yeah.
from then?
That'll be the next one.
Trying to
Postpone.
help y'all out.
Any new
Get a month
business?
off.
Well, Andy and I uncovered quite a conundrum with two permit holders on AMP and beverage tax over at UCA. And there's still, Charles is looking into it. Denise is gonna call ABC, and I am supposed to call the FNA because there's a question of whether a state-ran school has to pay AMP tax.
It's a non-profit. I'm
UCA
listed
is
as
not a
an.
nonprofit.
Oh yeah,
I'll
you're
find
right.
that out.
I know
kids going
that
in.
they
We'll be
do
there.
have a little different rules for ABC with alcohol. That, I mean, they do have
That's the
that.
only liquor license
But
on
I-
the premises.
They're peddling liquor.
Yep,
and
they've
they
been
give 100%
not paying,
access.
they've been
Airmark
filing
has a
zero
program?
reports
Airmark
since
has a
March of 2021, but prior
Airmark
to that.
has?
Do it.
Airmark has filed 0 reports?
Twisted Taco and Einstein. Well, has filed zero reports for Twisted Taco. Einstein, we've just not heard anything from.
Are they-
I do
are
not
they-
see
what's
how
their
they could be
affiliation
in
with
any
UCA?
way
They're a vendor.
exempt.
They
If
are a
it's,
vendor of
there's no, it's
UCA?
not like a not-for-profit, so it's a
They
state
possi-
school,
they
yeah, there's
possibly
no
could be
way.
exempt.
There's no way.
But they're a business
Right.
making money
Well, see,
from.
that would be my argument.
They're not UCA.
Right, they're not affiliated with UCA at all. They're just a business that UCA, you know, lets them contract out to be
I'm pretty
there.
sure they
That
are
might be
UCA.
concurrent.
Airmark
June
is
8th.
not,
That's when the
UCA
timing could be.
contracts with Airmark to do business
'Cause
in,
Third party.
it's a third party.
It's a third.
Right.
So they would have to pay.
Which Airmark for UCA does pay tax for the restaurants there, but for Twisted Taco in particular, they have Airmark, Twisted Taco, and been zero report since March of 2021.
Yeah, they,
AMP and beverage.
yeah, that's,
Well, they could be combining some of their brands into one report. And I know there
Even
has-
if they're not supposed to, they, yeah.
yeah, I mean,
They were
Good.
made to get a separate permit per truck back when they opened because, in particularly because they had a beverage permit, but
I don't even know why.
because we were talking about it in my office and you were going to prove that you were open. You said you were going to go buy a taco, a beer, and a bagel.
And a bagel.
carload.
Oh, Lord.
And
One out of
they're
three-
saying,
one
they're
out of
saying
three
that they
anyway.
believe that they didn't have to, who's, is
In the Hall of
Twisted
Fame.
Taco or Airmark saying that they believe that because they were part of the state grants?
Well, Denise and I were questioning it. But she was gonna call ABC. I'm gonna call DFNA today, and Charles is looking into it on his end.
So maybe we'll have an answer by the next meeting. Should have.
Oh, we will.
Mm-hmm.
So Kim, that's why they're
Maybe
not on
I'll
the
come
list
to that
yet.
next meeting just to see what happens. Like,
Because they're supposedly they're not required to be permitted by the city for anything. So that's where Denise was going
and by they again, you're talking about,
exactly.
with that. UCA. Properties of UCA.
Anything else?
if it's a contracted.
Oh.
Take care of your cat.
Gotta
See you later, Alligator.
One last piece of
Happy
housekeeping.
cat, happy mama.
Yeah. Our chamber annual meeting is Thursday. If any of you are wanting to attend and haven't yet made arrangements to do so, let us know, and we'll save you some seats. It is full, but there's always seats for y'all. So
This Thursday?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
one of you will be recognized as the Distinguished Service Award winner. I'm not going to say who yet, but you already know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You are
we
gonna
already
get
know.
it.
He's out
Is he
here
on an island?
And-
Is that
and-
person?
He's out there on
And one of you
the island.
already has been.
Is he
and
on an
so,
island?
Say.
There's this person on an island. It might,
Yeah.
I've heard it might be them.
Make a motion.
I take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So many.
Thank you very much.